Hello, football fans, and welcome back to another James Talks About the NFL. And today I'm going to be talking about the Buffalo Bills. Now, have they hit a wall? I do think that they have hit a wall, and I do believe that it is very apparent. And I say that because, in case you don't know, the Buffalo Bills fired their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, yesterday, following Thursday night's loss to the New York Jets. Which, Greg Roman is the thumbnail for this. In case you're like, who is that Bills coach? That's not Rex Ryan. Who is that? James! False thumbnail. No, it's not. But anyway, so I remember back in March of 2015 being so sold on this team. I was thinking, yeah, with Shady McCoy now, LaShawn Shady McCoy, and that defense, Rex Ryan can really help out that defense, and they can go to the playoffs. I was drinking the Bills Kool-Aid. I mean, I was seriously drinking the Bills Kool-Aid. I'm not going to lie. But, that Kool-Aid did taste pretty good back in March of 2015, and any time last year before the season started. Which once the season got underway, it started to taste a little bit bitter, but now it's just gone sour. And it's past the expiration date. Now, I'm not saying that they should fire Rex Ryan, but I feel like he could be fired by the end of the season, and at which point I would talk about that in its own video. But I know that he is going to be looking for a job. Probably going to be looking for a job come this January, probably. So, a lot of people thought that this was a make or break year for Rex Ryan. Even legendary Bills quarterback Jim Kelly, who played in the 90s with the Bills and went to those 4 Super Bowls with, thought that this was a make or break year for Rex Ryan. And by the looks of these 2 games, it's been a break year. And it doesn't look good for a third season for Rex Ryan in Orchard Park, unfortunately. Which, it's kind of surprising to me that the Bills would fire Greg Roman following a 31-point outing against the New York Jets. Sorry, I got some allergies or sorry, I got some allergies or something. But anyway, so it's not Greg Roman's fault that Tyrod Taylor misses passes. It's not Greg Roman's fault that Sammy Watkins has a little bit of a foot injury. It's not Greg Roman's fault that the run game is not at least consistent, if not getting on its feet. I'm not trying to make a joke like, oh, they're not getting on their feet, ha ha ha. No, I'm not trying to be like that. I guess maybe he could control it a little bit, but he can't control the ability of his running backs and which holes they choose to run through, and he can't control how well the offensive line blocks, and he can't control the wide receiver depth beyond Sammy Watkins as it falls off a cliff right after him. And that defense has gotten worse under Rex Ryan somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, but it has. And if Anthony Lynn, the new Bills offensive coordinator, can somehow turn the offense around to the point where they are winning games. I mean, I'd rather win a 9-6 game where my offense sucked and couldn't score a touchdown instead of score 31 points and lose the game, which is what some of you would probably make the argument for, which is what I agree with. But if your offensive coordinator is still scoring 31 points in a game, just like they did on Thursday night. Now, granted, they did score only 13 against the Ravens, I do believe, last Sunday, but still averages out to about 22 points a game. Yeah, on the dot, 22 points a game. I do apologize once again, but 22 points a game is not that bad. And keep in mind that Greg Roman did call the offensive plays for Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith in San Francisco while Jim Harbaugh was their head coach. So as long as Greg Roman has talent, and as long as any offensive coordinator has real talent to work with, then they can certainly work with that talent, and that talent will kind of make them look good, but talent makes your job a lot easier as a play caller. And I feel for Greg Roman. And as an offensive guy, I just feel like Greg Roman is a great play caller. And that's another point. Going back 18 months ago, that was a thing that I was really sold on the Bills for. I was like, oh, Rex Ryan's got a great offensive coordinator. I mean, now he's got consistency on offense. And that was before either Tyrod Taylor came. I think Tyrod Taylor had just arrived from Baltimore, but he hadn't exploded onto the scene and taken that quarterback battle and become elite like Greg Roman said. I think Tyrod Taylor is a great quarterback. I don't think he's elite yet. Keep that in mind. But I think that he has the ability to be an elite quarterback in this league one day. But he's not exactly one now. He doesn't stack up to the Newtons and the Rodgers and the Bradys and the previous Mannings that just retired. Talking about Peyton, not necessarily Eli. Sorry, Eli. But you get to hang out at Peyton's house on Tuesday and have nachos, which is cool. Maybe Netflix and chill. But anyway. So, now, I do think that if the offense somehow gets magically turned around by the new offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn, and the defense suddenly gets better, which they're missing a few players they should get back here in a few weeks. But the thing is that they could go 0-4 with games against Arizona and New England. Now, you might go, oh, James, New England's not going to have Tom Brady that game because, because it's week 4. Well, New England's a tough team to face any time, even if Tom Brady is playing. And it's even tougher if Tom Brady is playing. And bear in mind that Gronk will probably be playing in that game. And they found an excellent way to beat the Cardinals last Sunday night. So, maybe the Bills will go 0-4, but I hope that they won't. Because an 0-4 start and then you try to make the playoffs, ooh, that is a tough task. Once again, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me take a little sip of Coke. Not make my throat so dry. But I do think that it would be a very, very tough task for them to make the playoffs. Starting out 0 and 4. I mean, not many teams start 0 and 2 and make it to the Super Bowl and win it regardless. And they have a tough. Some 0 and 2 teams already have a tough time making it to the playoffs, and about a third or a quarter of the teams that start 0 and 2 do make it to the playoffs. With the Seahawks being one of those 0 and 2 teams that went to the playoffs last year, I do believe. I know they lost to the Rams, at the time St. Louis Rams, in their opener in St. Louis. Yeah, I think they lost to the Packers week 2, so they went 0 and 2, but not to disrespect the coaches of the Buffalo Bills, but I do think that the Seahawks coaches are better than the Buffalo Bills coaches. But I'm just kind of seeing the end of Rex Ryan's tenure as the Bills head coach. I mean, I can't. It just looked so good for Rex Ryan to become their head coach 18 months ago, and now it might be pretty clear that he's going to be looking for a new job. Now, I say might because the new owners, Terry Pegula, Terry and his wife, I can't remember his wife's name, I'm so sorry, but the Pegulas might just keep Rex Ryan around. But that's a big if. And that depends on how fast the Bills can turn this ship around. Which I don't think we face the Bills this year. The Panthers don't, so I guess I can root for the Bills in every single game. So I guess I can root for the Bills in every single game. Which, I mean, the Jets really did a number on the Bills on Thursday night. I mean, that is for sure. The Bills helped keep the Jets out of the playoff race, but the Jets exacted revenge and helped, and maybe have ultimately led the Bills down the road of firing Rex Ryan, the Jets' former head coach, and Todd Bowles, the current New York Jets head coach predecessor. So Todd Bowles is Rex Ryan's successor in New York. New York. I've been to New York. It's a pretty nice town. I haven't been to Orchard Park, where the Bills are, but getting a little bit off topic. So yes, the Bills have definitely hit a wall, but they could recover, but it is going to be a tough task at 0-2, especially with the 2 games coming up against New England and Arizona. They could easily fall to 0-4. And then what do? If they do fall to 0-4 after firing their offensive coordinator yesterday, Greg Roman, after an 0-2 start, I couldn't imagine what would happen after an 0-4 start. Maybe Rex Ryan would get fired. I don't know. I have no earthly idea. But all I know is that I hope that if Rex Ryan has to get fired by the Bills, then I hope it's not during the season. I hope that Rex Ryan can coach the season out and not get fired halfway through, because that would be just demoralizing to any coach to be fired halfway through. And I'm pretty sure that Greg Roman is just beside himself. Just kind of shell-shocked with the firing yesterday. So yes, guys, I do believe that that will end off this video, and I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching, and go Panthers.